Hello, my name is Meerah and I'm a Lorekeeper in one of Yogg-Sothoth's libraries, and today I wanted to share with you the story of Syca, the architect of Sycrakea, the ocean biome of Atoraxxion. The oldest memory I have is of when I was with the other Dakimas. We vowed to join hands and become the great Dakimas, who would overcome the threat of the Dark Invaders. I meditated upon the fact that any crisis could be overcome if we did it together. A musical motif comes to mind when I think about those days. I will create an ode for our master, Dekia. You came to my biome to give me a bracelet made from a vine stem. It was the first time I had ever received a gift from anyone. I took it as a sign of a relationship developing. Does Yolu think more of me? Is there now someone I can lean on through difficult times? I thought that someone significant, someone I could trust with all my thoughts and feelings, had appeared. Time and time again, I was bested by Vaha. Even when using weapons crafted precisely according to Master's instructions, Vaha didn't even attempt to hide his message, divulging all the details of his process when I asked. He has no fear of me defeating him in the Gladios, and I admit I cannot keep up. Compared to Vaha, I'm not qualified to be a Decima. Regardless of my efforts to analyze Vaha's weapons and absorb Master's teachings, Vaha always comes out victorious. Suddenly, the time arrived for me to depart for the outside world. Master lectured me on its dangers countless times. Do not depend on a god to protect you. Protect yourself. Do not let laziness overtake you. Your priority is to craft weapons, not be intoxicated by foreign cultures. Despite Master's warnings, I thought it was important to discover the cultures of the outside world. Through careful study of life in the outside world, I thought I could find inspiration that didn't exist in nature. So while I was in Sycrakea, I decided I should experience as much culture as possible. Those of the outside world lived lives of unparalleled richness. I saw people enjoying a relaxing soak in a public bath, and others who sampled just a meager taste of their food before spitting it out. Lifestyles such as those were unthinkable in Atoraxxion. Watching them go about their lives, I couldn't fathom the Dark Invaders coming to a place like this. Despite those thoughts, I heeded the words of Master, for I have no purpose beyond being a Decima. I witnessed a passenger ordering the crew of a ship around, bound for Sycrakea. I didn't think anything good would come of attracting unwanted attention, so I just observed them quietly. When I went to the passenger to ask what had happened, this is what he told me. This is an opportunity. That guy over there, he owes me a handsome sum. Since he has no way of procuring that money aboard this vessel, I proposed we make a writ of indentured servitude. Clever, isn't it? Let this be a lesson. Life is full of opportunities to assert oneself over lesser men. Haha. As the ship approached the Sycrakea ruins, I checked Master's compass one last time before leaping off the deck. When I surfaced above water, startled faces were all staring at me from over the boat's gunwale. Choosing to ignore their stares, I started swimming towards Sycrakea. The salty seawater I swallowed each time I breached the surface created an endless thirst, but it did not dissolve my will to be recognized by Master. Master seems to have been here already. I am certain of it after seeing a non-operational Ator. The deep sea stalks are starting to wind around it. Is there no way for me to restore it? If I could bring this back, I would beat all of the Decimas in the Gladios. I could knock Vaha off his pedestal. Yolu, back from the outside world, was still gentle and thoughtful, but her back was hunched over from the burdens she bore. I'm thankful that her trials didn't seem to have affected the relationship between us. She wouldn't have given me a mystical crystal she called the Lightstone for all my hard work if it had. Looking at the Lightstone created this sensation of safety and warmth within me for some reason. I felt as if Yolu was my everything, and if I could only focus on her, I would forget my rivalry with Vaha and the sense of inferiority I feel around him. I carved the Lightstone and used it to brighten the darkness of Sycrakea, but a warning from Master shortly followed. He said we can't know the impact of bringing an unknown object into our biomes. He suggested I take a leaf from Vaha's book and spend my time focusing on building weapons to fend off the Dark Invaders. Vaha, Vaha, Vaha. It's always Vaha. The only thing that could soothe the violent storm raging inside of me was Yolu's gift. When I look at the reshaped Lightstone, Yolen's eye, I feel at peace. Master calls this temptation, but he knows nothing of my feelings. Ors and Yolu visit each other so often that the awkwardness between them was long gone. Perhaps they've gotten closer since their trip to the arid, fog-laden continent at the edge of the world. Since so much of her time was spent with Ors, I became sullen that Yolu rarely visited me anymore. But one day, she came to my biome saying she had a gift for me. Unfortunately, she had left it in Ors's biome, and her ankle meant she couldn't retrieve it herself. My heart could never deny her request, so I innocently agreed and headed toward Ors's biome. This was my first time entering Ors's biome, and I was surprised to find an endless number of statues to the goddess of darkness there. If Ors worships that being, if she bows on her knees before those statues, is Ors really worshipping a goddess Master warned us not to worship? I'm sure this means that Ors has betrayed us. I need to report this immediately to our great Decians, so that Yolu severs her ties with her. Oh wait, could this be an opportunity? The creatures in the abyss of Sycrakea slowly dry up their prey, draining them of all their nutrients. Like them, I feel no pity for draining Ors the Betrayer. She cozied up to Vaha in order to get a hold of his blueprints. I know she intends to form a legion for the Goddess of Darkness. I have no desire to take pity on her, even at the sight of her trembling when I tell Vaha how she betrayed us. It's only a matter of time now until Vaha's blueprints are mine, and finally claim victory in the Gladios. Things are going differently than expected. The blueprints Ors gave me were for a bunch of useless weapons. I told her over and over to bring me the Lexaous blueprint. I want the weapon he brought out at the Gladios. Why does she continue this charade of stupidity? Does she not feel threatened by me? Or is she rather disregarding my wishes altogether? My patience is wearing thin. I see only one solution to this matter. I told Vaha of Ors's betrayal, but I never expected his response. Would it not be best to take this up with the Master? What can I do about it? How could he defend a traitor such as Ors? I don't understand. How could I have miscalculated? Wasn't Vaha a man of principle? How can this reaction be so dismissive when he is the one who most closely obeys Yekia's every order? One day, Vaha created a new set of rules, as if he's the master. How dare he? But of course, as he's the reigning Gladios champion, I had no choice but to silently obey. It's so ridiculous. Can't believe that even Yolu agreed to the unworthy Kerr's new rules. I should find a moment to speak with Yolu. She's the only Decima who can change the situation around. I prepared a letter to accompany a gift in the hopes of edging out my victory in this matter. I'll visit her in secret when no one's around. In that dark moment, I saw a dagger amidst scraps of fabric torn from Yolu's clothing resting at my feet. Words inscribed in the blade were illuminated by the moonlight. My love, Vaha. With the Goddess of Darkness' permission, our paradise will be complete. I know exactly who would write a message like this. A storm of violent rage filled my heart with dark conviction. Ors. Vaha. Vaha. He must be eliminated. As I rushed to escape Yolu's biome, I glanced down at the letter and gift I had brought back with me. They were the first things I had made for another person, but the truth I witnessed back there showed me that none of it mattered. Had I gotten there earlier and given Yolu my letter, I would have been made a laughingstock. They had already developed feelings for one another without me even realizing it. How could I have been so blind? But some small part of me can understand Yolu's desire. But Vaha. Vaha has Ors and also desires Yolu. Yolu is just a convenience for him, since Ors won't commit to him fully. He must be torn to shreds. He must be exterminated. I will not let someone such as him lead us on the final day. Vaha, everyone must know of your wickedness. Cannot trust anyone. Everyone disgusts me. How can everyone maintain their relationships like nothing happened while they're behaving this way? I turn my back on them. What about Master? I must purge my mind and do my best to forget everything. I exist to defeat the Dark Invaders, but I cannot fight alongside scum like Vaha. I will walk my own path to save us from extermination. This is my sole mission here in Atoraxxion. Master said that with the heart of Automagia, we could continue to share our thoughts and feelings with one another. This continues, he will certainly win again, and the heart will be his. That means that on the final day of battle, we will fight under Vaha's orders, and our hearts and minds will all be interconnected. Then he will learn, they will all learn, of the secret feelings I have for Yolu. I don't care who knows my feelings, but to be in the head of that hypocrite. The disgusting thoughts of Yolu with that disgusting cur will fill my head. I don't know what Master was thinking. There's no way I could ever share my thoughts and feelings with Vaha. I can never do that, never. I'd rather be dead. Dead, I say, dead! I secretly snuck out of Atoraxxion, bound for the real Sycrakea of the outside world. If I can get my hands on the Ator there and repair it, I can beat Vaha in the final Gladios. Focusing on this singular purpose calms my raging spirit and brings me peace, much like the lightstone crafted into Yolen's eye would brighten the dark abyss. Even after going through such darkness, it seems that Yolu still hasn't ceased being my only light. My attempts to repair the Ator in Sycrakea were in vain. The Ator was damaged beyond repair, and nearly impossible to move with the current level of knowledge I possess. I knew Master must have kept a record of his knowledge. I thought, perhaps if I went where Master once studied, I could find some scrap of knowledge to aid me. But at that place, I was put on trial. And then I found out that Master was a criminal, and that Atoraxxion was a stronghold of sinners. I thought I would be able to return to Atoraxxion as surreptitiously as I had slipped away, but Master was waiting for me. The words that came from his mouth, however, were not words I had expected him to say. My tender-hearted and innocent Syca, on the day when 49 suns fall out of the heavens, you will need loose that roar of waves from this stronghold. All of your sadness and loneliness is my fault and mine alone, so I pray that you are able to forgive this miserable and foolish master of yours. I have left a small token for you, perchance to soothe your bruised heart. I should should not inquire of the matter any further if you return. Master had planted the dormant heart of automagia in my garden. Every letter of every sincere word the master spoke lingered in my mind, but in the end, I could not forgive. Final gladios will not be held, and on the day of the final battle, we will all sink together in the stronghold, down in the abyss. Since the heart lies deep in my cradle, none shall ever feel the warm sunlight again. On the day of the final battle, I came to Protokea with all of my weapons, where everyone was gathered. Tekia's memories were gone, and none were interested in the heart of automagia I left behind in my cradle. As expected, Baha attempted to shift the blame to me. He blamed me for the disappearance of the Blackstone and the loss of Master's memories. I didn't want to hear it. Ors was the start of all this, though I suppose I caused it by letting the outside world know of our stronghold. Ors is responsible for this. I warned you that she had disobeyed the Master's teachings and was worshipping an idol. Why won't you listen to me? Vaha defended Ors until the end, but I was taken aback when Yolu also suspected Vaha. How does it feel to finally taste defeat after enjoying all those victories? I'm all too familiar with how you're feeling right now. Just return the Blackstone to its place. Have I not returned to resolve this very matter? Only I know how truly rotten you are. Vaha seemed flustered, looking back and forth between Yolu and Ors. I wonder whose name he would call. But ultimately, he cried, Ors. Ors's head dropped and tears fell from her eyes. She must feel sorry for Vaha. But Ors, I feel sorry for you. Vaha has a revolting side you've never seen. Enjoy your untainted opinion of him while you can. As soon as I exposed the truth, Vaha unsheathed his sword, his eyes locked on Ors, just standing before him. I wasn't the one you truly loved. It was the goddess of darkness who found a place in your heart. Is that so? Wait, this wasn't how events were supposed to unfold. Couldn't let him kill another Decima. What are you doing? Don't, I said. Vaha's sword plunged into Talogray's door, and now there is no way out. I simply didn't want to share all of our wicked emotions and thoughts. All I wanted was to lead the weapons and to get out of Atoraxxion. Was I perhaps asking too much? All I wanted was to live a normal life. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time to get one. But what I want is not impossible. It was possible, but now I found myself trapped again and slowly losing myself. Why can't I be free to do as I wish? Isn't that the point of living? What meaning is there living a life that's not your own? I hear my ultimate weapon, Centulatos, speaking to me. You're dimmer than a dim tree spirit. I need to snap out of it. Weapons do not talk, of that I am certain. It's merely my weary subconscious at work. Yes, you're right. You really are this weak and idiotic. And your lack of judgment is what destroyed Atoraxxion. You're the reason the Ator army couldn't mobilize, and this is the result. Your ability and judgment were always awful, and I see no signs of that changing. How could you be worthy of recognition? To receive recognition, one must be good at something, don't you think? Ah, this is a dream, a hallucination. It has already all happened. Ignore it. We must decide for ourselves what to do since Master is no longer with us. But will the others even listen to what I have to say? I would be relieved to have at least one person whom I could trust. Since Master doesn't even recognize us, it's no use talking to him. Vaha. Forget Vaha. Ors can't be trusted since she worshipped the god of darkness. That leaves Yolu as the only one who might understand just a fraction of what I feel. And that's where stupid Syca's record ends. I really don't like him as a character, but it's exhausting reading about someone like that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you next time here in the library.